I've never seen that much money in my life. We did 1.8 million.
How much money you invested in the gym?
I don't even know if I can afford this.
You have McLaren, right?
My excuse was like, I don't have the money.
She is with you when you haven't even started.
Nothing. Yeah.
The open concept store, the gym.
Hi everyone, this is Nipun Raji. Welcome back to my channel. So आज मैं मिसिसागा के एक फर्स्ट हेल्थ क्लब में आया हूँ. आज हम इसके ओनर से मिलेंगे जिन्होंने बहुत सारे फिटनेस में बिजनेस बनाए हैं. इन्होंने ये स्टार्ट किया था सप्लीमेंट स्टोर, देन क्लोथिंग ब्रांड एंड नाउ जिम. सो अभी हम इसका एक क्विक टूर लेंगे एंड फॉर द टूर माय फ्रेंड शिमार गोना हेल्प अस. Hey Shimar, how are you?
How you doing?
Good.
How are you, brother?
So he's gonna give us a tour. All right,
Okay.
let's go.
So, welcome to First Hill Club. First of all, I want to say hi to all Nippon's viewers. Really glad to have them come up here and check out the space. Open concept store. So this is all the women's clothing and unisex clothing. Here is the men's section.
Oh, men's section.
Yeah, so we got the men's section here. These are all the men's clothing. All the new drops, obviously, for men's will just be in this area of the space. Really excited about some of the new pieces we're coming out with. Stay tuned for that. Get a look at all the merch we have in here. This is the lounge. So this is a cool space if you want to just chill here before you work out, do some work, or even get a meal after your workout. Then we got the fitting room over here. So this is the smoothie bar. So we have energy drinks, pre-workout, BCA, water. The moment you've all been waiting for, the gym. All right. So this is the gym space. Wow. Yeah, so brand new, all brand new equipment, treadmills, Stairmaster. Then we also
is really cool.
Yeah, we have this like tree wall over here. We also have custom First Health equipment. Come take a look. So this is custom First Health equipment here. It's a cool machine. And then one of the girls' favorite machines I'll take you to. Every girl likes this machine, man. They be chilling here all day. This is one of our probably fan favorite machines. Members really like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
All right.
So
guys, अभी मैं इनके वेयर हाउस पे आ गया हूँ और यहाँ पे सारा स्टॉक होता है और ये इनका एक पॉडकास्ट एरिया जो इन्होंने बनाया हुआ है और इनका यूट्यूब पे चैनल भी है द एलिवेट टॉक. तो जो अभी ओनर हैं जो माज भाई, अभी उनके साथ जो इंटरव्यू करेंगे वो यहाँ पे करेंगे.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
So good to see you.
Have a seat, please. So first of all, Maaz bhai, congratulations for the gym.
Thank you so much.
And he's the man behind all the businesses that I was explaining you. Let's start our questions.
Let's do it. I'm excited to get in it.
How and when you started First Health?
So First Health actually started as a supplement company 5 years ago. But this here, our clothing and our gym has been 3.5 years.
So why you closed the supplement store and what you learned from that, and was it profitable?
Year, and I'll go back into it of why I even closed. So for the first year and a half, I made supplements right out of the trunk of my car. The first supplement I made was a nootropic called Dopamine. And then I was like, wait, I actually made the first supplement. Let me make a second supplement too. And we opened up our first supplement store. That's how it came. Putting in money into building the place, but also the purchasing supplements. But what had happened, obviously, the virus came. I think our grand opening was like somewhere in late March. And 4 days before, it all shut down.
Oh, yeah, in 2020.
And yeah, exactly, in 2020. So I was like, oh, what now? We just put in like $100,000 into this. And I always wanted to do clothing as well. I'm 6'3", so I feel like anytime I wear like joggers and stuff, they come up till here. So I'm like, one day, I swear, like I'm gonna make something that will fit my legs. So then that time came, and I'm like, maybe this is the good time to like test out, because if I didn't, like it's game over already, because we put so much money into this. So I remember the first time I went online, I went to Google, I went to Alibaba. There was another website, I can't remember now, that had manufacturers as well. So I'm just testing out, and I think I spoke to like 6-7 different manufacturers. I got a bunch of samples, and I think it was $6,500 that we spent on our first collection, which $6,500, yeah, for the very first collection of clothing. And from there, I set up Instagram accounts. I went and met people around, like models, girls. It was mostly women clothing as well, because I know, you know, the way like women buy. Like we like to dress good, but girls really like to shop. So and it's more difficult too. So I'm like, if I can just master that first, when March came around, we get to shut down. I'm like, okay, we have to set up a website. We have to set up social because I don't think we're gonna be able to sell this in person. So that's what I did, and through a little bit like models and us doing some social media marketing, we sold out of that in like a month. So it was
Wow.
like, oh, the 6,000 came back and it brought some more money in. So let me try again. And then 3.5 years later, this is where we are now.
Wow. So you started with $6,000 in the fitness brand, and what's your company like? How big is now in terms of sales, profits, and return? The apparel company.
Yeah. So I'll back it up a little bit. The very first year that we did it, just testing everything out with social media, no marketing. We did about $350,000 that year. That was 2020, very first year. I've never seen that much money in my life. So I was like, this can actually like go somewhere. Then next year, 2021, in February came around. We hired one staff because we were getting more orders and stuff coming into. It was just me, Igli, and another girl that we just added in. So that month, and it's perspective too, because you don't think these things. In February that month, we made $200,000 in that month. So like, oh, things really change. So 2021, we ended up making 1.1 million. Then 2022, which was last year,
Yeah.
we did 1.8 million.
Wow.
And this year with the gym and this, we're gonna cross and hit somewhere around 2.5.
So you started at $6,000 in 2020, the fitness company, and in the end of 2022, it was 1.8 million company.
Yes.
Wow. How are you gonna compete with the brands like Gymshark, and what's your plan with the First Health? How are you gonna compete and take that to the next level?
It's actually a question that I think about all the time myself too, and it's a difficult question too, but you can't spend too much time on because we're in different stages. So Gymshark is 10 years in. Alpha Lead even, they're 8 or 9 years in. We're only 3.5 years in. So what I can do is think about why we even got here in the first place, which was building our community, which was offering the best type of products that we can to the market. So the next thing is providing the best customer service. So our team, I do the best job that we can to make sure that our customers are dealt with properly, on time, the shipping is fast, so the overall experience is good. So I think as long as I'm focused on what I'm good at, what this brand is good at, and not too much focus on like, oh, that company is winning. So you can learn from it, but not be envious, like, why am I not there yet? Because I think it's a long process. Maybe it's going to take 10 more years for me to get to that
level.
big B level type of brand.
Is it shipping in Canada or it's worldwide?
So we ship everything from Canada, but we ship worldwide. I would say 55% of our customers are all across Canada. We have about 35% in America.
Oh, so you're already in US?
Yes, all across. And then like 5-10% in Europe as well. Even some random ones in Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and these type of countries too. But for the most part, it's Canada and America.
So now let's talk about your new venture. You were already doing good in the apparel company, and how the idea came up. I want to open the gym now.
Yes. So last year in December, around Christmas time, this is our distribution center. So the first side of it, I just saw another sign up that unit is open, and I just thought maybe like, why not? It's like right there. It's a good opportunity. So I just booked up an appointment. I think there were 6 of us. I took some of the team members too. I was like, let's go next door and just see. I don't even know if I can afford this. And as soon as I walked in, I kid you not, like I just knew like where the lounge was. I knew the smoothie bar. I knew this was gonna be the store. That's where the gym was. And I'm like, whoa, like okay, this can maybe happen. So then I just started working on it. I'm like, I need to find investments. I need to figure out my own financials and see if this is a possibility. I don't know. Like I'm a good believer. I'm sure you guys are too, in faith and God as well, and good karma. So I just prayed, and I'm like, if I'm meant to be here and I see these things happening in front of me, then just help me like open doors. And I just jumped in, and it worked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how much money you invested in the gym?
To build this whole thing, um, just over $500,000.
Half
Yeah.
a million.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to get a little bit of help from debt financing as well.
Mhm.
And then I put some of my own money in there as well. So over time,
Mhm.
through the profits here, through my own investment and a little bit of debt financing, I was able to complete that project.
Did you take loan for this?
Yes, I did. The loan was initially when I took it 150,000 of the total.
Is
But
it from the outside or it's from the bank?
yeah, so the banks are actually very tough. Even though we're like 3.5 years in at this point, it took months. Like we spoke to a couple big banks as well. These guys were even being difficult with that because we're still very young, but we're growing really fast. So
Yeah.
they're like, no, even though your numbers are this big, this is too risky because you're growing too fast.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, okay. So then we just went around, and what came actually very random too. We have an American Express account as well.
Mhm.
So they just offered us exactly.
Oh.
I even knew, I'm like, I just need 150. The rest I can cover. And I kid you not, like one day the offer just came and it said, "Here's 150."
Wow.
So I don't even know like how that exactly happened. So that's why I like think faith has to do something with it as well. When you're going to places that God will just find a way to
Yeah.
give you an extra push.
Yeah,
I feel like, and yeah,
So 150K was the investment that you took from the bank, and rest of the money, I guess, 350 or 450K,
yeah, about 350K.
350K
Yeah.
that you put on your own.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is from the First Health apparel that you earned.
Yes, all First Health Apparel, money that was saved through it, and money that First Health Apparel just kept producing over time.
So can you please break down the numbers from the gym? Like
For
what's the
sure.
rent? What's how much you paid for the machines?
In terms of breakdown of this place, so initially you have to, I had to put a deposit down first and last month and a deposit to the landlords
Mm-hmm.
to secure this place, obviously, which I believe was close to 40,000, big chunk.
40,000.
Yes,
First and last.
first and last plus a deposit.
Oh.
Yeah. And then after that, we spent about 100,000, maybe 120-ish, to build out the place. That was flooring, that was paint, that was getting furniture,
Mm-hmm.
that was signs.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the gym, like
Yeah.
the paint itself costs a
Yes,
lot.
yes. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All of that, the lighting, changing all that up, setting up smoothie bars, setting up a lounge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that money went. I spent about 320-ish thousand on the equipment as well. Yeah, the equipment was
That's a big
definitely,
investment in the beginning, you know?
yeah, and then that's why I needed a little bit of loan too, which is not free. That's another thing too. Like loans seem nice, but you're paying that back every week, every
Yeah.
month. So your sales have to be good enough
Yeah.
while you're
From
still
the first day.
from the first day. So if this wasn't a thing, I don't think I could jump into that.
Yes.
That is just added on to the brand, I
Uh-huh.
would say. So I think 350, about 150 deposit. Yeah, that's about 500
Yeah.
right there. And then obviously there's other expenses too because you have staff
Yeah.
and they're working extra hours. So I
Mhm.
didn't even count any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to because that'll probably go even higher in
Uh-huh.
price. But in those 4 months, I was also spending 50, 60,000 a month running First Health Apparel too. So if we added that cost, in 4 months, I really spent like $750,000.
What's your advice for the personal trainers who want to open up a studio gym? Not a gym like that, that's very
Mhm.
big, a studio gym. And when do you think is a good time to, start a studio gym?
A couple things come to mind. If the personal trainer is working at a commercial gym already, I would really think like how many like clients they have. At the end of the day, like if you have enough clients where you're making X amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
where you think you would make more if you went all in on your own, I think that would be the right step. But besides that, it's also freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you're taking more risk. I wouldn't start it like the first year or something because you should be like someone like you who's like expert in like personal training already,
Mm-hmm.
not like 6 months into this.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if you feel confident and you have enough clients
Mm-hmm.
and you can somehow save to get a studio gym, then just make the move.
Mm-hmm.
There's no really perfect formula.
And there is no best time.
And there's no best time. Like I said, and just I didn't know if I didn't do this, I was like, well, if I don't do it now, then when is the best time, right? My excuse was like, I don't have the money, but then money just comes. You figure it out. So you just stop making excuses and you make an action plan. Okay,
Yeah.
this is how much the rent is going to be for the studio gym. This is if I need the other personal trainers to help me. This is going to be the build out cost. I need $65,000. How am I going to create 65,000? I need to train clients this many times. I need to cut down on my spendings.
Yeah.
This and that. It's 6 month plan, and then because initially all you need to do is put a deposit into your place.
Yeah.
So.
And what do you think? Like, how much money is good to start a studio gym in the beginning? It's you can say it's like a early stage, like a baby stage.
It depends how big the studio is. Like maybe if the studio is like 1,500, 2,000 square feet, I think more like 20, 25 machines is more than like 20 machines even, and some free weight is more than enough to train clients in there because it's a private studio anyway. And you don't need to go very fancy with machines because it's not a commercial where they're looking at brand, as long as it works well because you're the one like guiding them.
Yeah, yeah.
So probably like 50, 60,000, I think you should be able to do it. Yeah. And then maybe you have to include like the rent first and last type of thing if you're leasing the place and making the gym look nice as well. Even then, I think you can do it at like maximum $80,000, $90,000.
What was the role of your family and your girlfriend in building the big business?
When I was starting out, and I remember, and I'm sorry, Mom, I'm calling you out here, and my dad too, but they literally told me like, because like from our background too, you gotta have to be a doctor, you gotta be an engineer, you gotta go into banking or whatever. But I was always different. Like and sometimes I like stretched it too much too, where I tested my parents. But when I initially made this company, they didn't take it seriously at all. And when I was making dopamine, I remember they were like kind of laughing, like, "What is this? Like, what do you know about supplements?" And I guess looking back at it, like I remember I was so pissed off, like my parents don't believe in me. Like, what is this? I'm gonna prove them. But looking back 5 years ago, they didn't have anything to believe in. I didn't give them reasons to believe in me. I had to prove myself. So over time, as I started building things, my parents, my family all came around and supported me a lot. So, and they continue to, and even my girlfriend as well. She was, I think I would say, the first one that, like, I was still with her when I even created First House. She actually helped me create the logo on Photoshop because I had a vision. I'm like, but I didn't know how to use Photoshop. So she sat with me and then we put it together.
Girls are good in that.
Yeah, I was like, this looks good. And she's like, I'll make you a whole brand font with like different fonts and different colors. So this is, you can use that for later.
So she is with you when you haven't even started?
Nothing. Yeah. I was in university and I worked part-time at Popeye Supplements.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, she saw everything.
Oh, wow.
But that's why she's still with me.
This is real. So I have one more question. It's for teenagers or who are in the early 20s. You have McLaren, right?
Yeah, so now I actually sold it.
Oh, just
yeah,
sold it.
I sold it late last year for a profit.
Oh.
Yeah, but I had it for almost 2 years.
So that was your dream car?
It's one of my dream cars, but it was more of like an accomplishment car because I was 27 when I bought it, and I just was like a supercar. Like that was my goal when I started First Health. And I feel like if teenagers, like, or anybody really, like, they should have some sort of reward goals that I'm doing this because then I can have that kind of life. So when you're young, cars is a big thing. And it was for me as well, and it still is. Not as big though.
So you got it from business?
From business, yeah.
Wow.
So from 2020 until 2022, I did not pay myself anything. And then once this business started going into 7 figures, I'm like, okay, this is good. Because I was still doing like personal training to just like pay my bills and stuff and survive. So that was like the first big reward. I'm like, okay, we can manage to do this. So then I bought a McLaren and I had it for 2 years. I drove around, the doors went up. It was like blue, so it was very bold too. I raced and stuff in it. It was fun. But then I started having too much fun too, and the market was also really good at the time. So I put it up on the market and I made $40,000 on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't deny that too because I have to think business. But maybe a next one soon again.
Okay, so that was not a dream car. I mean, like
it was the dream car back then.
Back then.
Yeah.
Now the business is up. Now something big is more coming up.
Yeah, and also once you have your first supercar, like it's so weird. When I bought it, or the leading up to, I was so excited. But the day I bought it, 1 week later, I'm like, okay, like now what? You know? So that kind of changed my perspective. I'm like, oh, something like that exciting, you can also get bored of. So materialistic things, like even if I feel like the richer people
Mhm.
who have like 10, 15 supercars, you just it becomes a normal car over time.
हाँ.
Yeah. So the vision is my biggest fulfillment, my biggest happiness is building First Health, building
Mhm.
this community,
Mhm.
building my team, more
Mhm.
products, more gyms, and then with a little bit fun, I get another car here and there, and then travel here and there, and then that's cool too.
Guys, this was one of the most transparent interview that I had in the recent times. भाई ने अपने numbers, profit, sales, ups, lows, सब कुछ बता दिया, and I'm very thankful. Thank you, Maaz bhai,
No,
for
thank
giving
you.
the time, and really
Yeah.
happy and congratulations for
Yeah,
the
thank you so
all the
much.
best.
You guys
All
are
the best.
welcome here anytime.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you guys for listening as well.